Hello, welcome to another episode of Ask the Doulas. I am Alyssa, and I'm talking with Dr. Rachel and Dr. Annie again of Rise Wellness Chiropractic. How are you?
Great.
So I got asked by a client about SPD, and I'm not even exactly sure what that is, but you knew. Right when I told you, you knew. So can you tell me? What is it?
So SPD, sometimes people think of sensory processing disorder, which is with older kids, but in relation to pregnancy, it's Symphysis Pubis Dysfunction.
Okay, and what the heck does
It is
that
a
mean?
mouthful. So basically, where your two pelvic bones meet in the front is called your symphysis pubis. So that's where the two bones meet together. There's cartilage in between there, and that area widens for birth, really. And so usually late second to third trimester, we'll see some women will start having pain. And that can be related to the relaxin that's in their system that's helping the ligaments loosen and helping that area separate. But what we usually find is it's more due to pelvic imbalances. So usually one side of the pelvis is higher than the other or something like that, where it's rubbing in a weird way. And that's usually what causes that symphysis pubis dysfunction.
So it's strictly for pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And are there any ways to not get it, avoid it, treat it,
like get adjusted from the
yeah. Just because if it's caused from a misalignment,
right. Exactly. Yeah, if it's caused from pelvis imbalances, then that is directly a chiropractic issue. Yeah, that's something that's biomechanical. That's something that we can address through adjustments. And then we also there's stretches that you can do. And there's also a Sorolla belt, which is like an SI belt. It goes around your sacroiliac joints, and it's just a low belt. It doesn't really do anything in terms of, it's not like a belly band or something that you would wear to support the baby, but it does help support the SI joints and kind of keep everything together. So it's not, because really what it is it's hypermobility in that joint. That's causing that pain.
It's too mobile.
It's too mobile. Yeah, so we usually see it with not first-time pregnant moms, but usually second or third, especially if they've had some kind of fall or something like that while pregnant, then they can injure their pelvis, and that's usually what brings those things up. I actually had a patient a couple weeks ago that had came to us for SPD, and under care she was doing great. All her pain went away, but she had fallen during her first pregnancy, and then during her second pregnancy started having all this pain and stuff come up.
So falling during pregnancy is not just a random fall at any time in your life that could affect this.
It could be. Pregnancy is really good at exacerbating existing issues, or past issues. If you've had any pelvic imbalances in your past, and then you're pregnant, just that relaxin is going to kind of flare things up. So typically what we see is pain with putting weight on one leg. So climbing stairs and stuff is when your pelvis is moving the most. So that's usually when a lot of the pain is flared up.
Walking, something that you don't have to do very often.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm. But sitting's not good for it either. It's one of those things that nothing's good for it.
Yeah, laying hurts, turning while you're laying. That's not already hard when you're 3 months when you're in the third trimester, 9 months pregnant.
Does it actually cause any more pain or discomfort during labor and delivery?
It can. It depends on really what the pelvic, because if you think of the pelvic bowl, if there's imbalances in the pelvis, it's not just affecting the bones, it's also affecting your pelvic floor muscles, it's affecting all of your stabilizer muscles, so it can potentially affect how things go during labor. I don't know if it creates more pain necessarily, or if it would be, but if any pelvic imbalance is going to affect probably the efficiency of your labor. I would say.
Yeah, plus the literature says it doesn't necessarily clear up after.
Mm-hmm. That was my next question.
Yeah, after delivery. It's not like you deliver a baby and then
it just goes away. Because you still have the imbalance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So then what do you do for that? Just keep getting,
well, it should clear.
Adjusted?
If you're getting adjusted, it should help and clear it up while pregnant.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is you should get checked if it's happening.
Yeah. It's definitely, you have to retrain that pelvic imbalance somehow. And you do that through chiropractic adjustments or through exercises, through physical therapy, stuff like that. But
PT floor rehab.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably a good combination of both, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you do it all, then you probably have best outcomes, right? So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we understand how important the pelvic floor is, and all we've learned is Kegels. And it's not necessarily even a good thing to think. When I saw a physical therapist for pelvic floor issues specifically, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like even just the way we breathe, and I didn't know that my diaphragm was part of like what would that be, the top? Your diaphragm is the top of your pelvic floor?
So it's what's the top of your like
the space.
Yeah.
I guess I can't say top of the floor. Your pelvic floor is the floor.
Your intra-abdominal space. Yes. So it's like the lid, and then your pelvic floor is the bottom. But it's like, I mean, it's a big like airtight like balloon pretty much. So when you breathe, it affects everything. But I mean, pelvic floor is an issue that we don't talk about really with women in birth, but it's a huge thing. Every woman who pushes out a baby has pelvic floor issues. Every woman who has a C-section has pelvic floor issues because those are attached to your abdominals too. So really, like, every woman should be getting some kind of rehab on pelvic floor after birth. It's my soapbox. Thanks for coming.
Well, I mean, think about going into I'm in these group exercise classes, and everyone's like, "Oh, jumping jacks! I'm gonna pee my pants," you know, like literally everyone. So
and then we see like
I had one friend was like, I was working out and I didn't know if it was like sweat or I had peed my pants. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Well, pelvic floor and then core strength too. Both things that get overlooked with women after pregnancy, and then we see women with back pain later. And it's because their core is so weak.
It's really we're just promoting physical therapy, pelvic floor rehab. What needs to be done.
And chiropractic care. Yeah. I mean, retraining all that neurology is important.
I think even just learning about it. So I've done yoga classes forever, and they will say, you know, like during this pose, tighten your pelvic floor. And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about, right? Like, what? I'm not doing. I'm like, what? How do I do that? But now, after learning that even just breathing is different, and like the feeling of, and I hate saying Kegel because it's not even like what it is, but like, I guess that is the feeling of just what you would do to stop your pee, but like doing that during certain exercises is a whole different feeling. But I think now that I'm conscious of it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, I can do that here. Oh, okay. It's gotten a lot better, but I still can't do jumping jacks.
See, the jumping jacks.
I know.
I don't do them either. Every time I like do jumping jacks for warm-ups, I'm like, no.
I do the ones where I just put my hands up and my leg just kind of stands up. I just kick my leg out like some little old ladies. Same. I'm fine with it.
It's what everyone's doing.
They call us jumping Jills.
Yeah. Right. Well, is there anything else pregnant women or postpartum women need to know about? I almost said GBS again. What is it?
SPD.
STDs. No,
STDs, SPD,
SPD.
CBD. Yeah. Is there anything you need to know about SPD?
It's not something that you need to suffer through. There's a lot of chiropractic studies where it helps, a lot of case studies, but I mean, also just biomechanically it makes sense. Like, you don't have to feel like you can't walk up the stairs, you know, or sit or be in a lot of pain during your pregnancy.
Trying to sleep,
Yeah.
Cool.
We can help.
Find out you're pregnant, get under care. That's really what we tell people.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, tell people where to find you.
We are in Easttown, in the Kingsley building, right next to Gold Coast Doulas. Or you can find us online at www.risewellnesschiro.com or on Facebook and Instagram. We're on there too. You can message us on those too.
Well, as always, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll have you in again soon.
Sounds good.
You can find us at goldcoastdoulas.com, Instagram, Facebook, and our podcast you can find on SoundCloud and iTunes. Thanks for listening.